Welcome in, everybody, to In Off the Bench College Baseball tonight. My name is Jim Cross, and I'm joined by Daniel Ball. Finally back, Daniel. I'm back in the SIP from Knoxville. We can do the show tonight, get all our fans, scores, the highlights. But first, we must plug our sponsors. Old Dominic Distillery, Chinook Seating, and Jesus One. We have the best sponsors in the country, Daniel. But let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. We got to start out in Oxford. I know we normally start with LSU, Southern Country. Man, I think the most compelling series all weekend took place in Oxford, and today, they went blow for blow.
Hill sends a long drive to right. Maxwell's back. Track. Leaps up. This ball's gone. Fly ball to right. Sanford goes back. It is gone!
Very simply, Daniel, a kid made a mistake defensively. It happens to everyone. Unfortunately, that mistake leads to Aloy, who's just doing damage, and ultimately that ended up being the difference. And I think these two teams are obviously going to be able to compete in the SEC. I think they're both very, very talented.
Yeah, you definitely don't look to make mistakes anytime, but you definitely don't want it to lead to Aloy or a Aloy coming up to bat.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not even just one. You got to get through them both.
Yeah, it's no bueno. But speaking of no bueno, Vandy has a tough loss. Auburn comes storming back in the 8th, fueled by a grand slam by Cade Ballou. He absolutely just murders this ball.
Base is loaded. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ballou hits this one to right field. Goodbye.
This is a kid that lost his mom, Daniel, at the start of the season, and since then you've seen him on the highlight reel. Daniel, one of the best things to handle situations like that is, put your nose to the ground and just grind.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, he around people that love him, he's being lifted, he's being supported, and what better way to release emotions than to put it all into a baseball.
Speaking of emotions, nothing I love more, Daniel, than when our players stand on business. I showed you the message Gavin Keelan sent me. He said he'd hit a home run for me this weekend. I was starting to think it might not happen, Daniel, but in the middle of today's game,
Any of them jump out at you. As Keelan rakes that one, right field, deep, and it is gone.
Daniel, did you happen to see those flags?
I did.
They were blowing. It was blowing. I'm not even exaggerating. It was blowing 20 miles an hour in, and he still had no problem. So the people who talk about the baby ball part, just stop.
I mean, most of the people who say that, most of these shots are going to be home runs no matter what. But when you can hit it through the wind, you definitely put a charge into the ball. I mean, obviously, he's on fire. He's swinging a good stick right now.
But he's not even the story, Daniel. We talked about it. I told Nate Snead's dad today he was your guy. You drafted him in Survivor. You predicted it last year in Omaha, in which he brought that up today. And then, he goes out there and pitches 3 2/3 Friday, Daniel. Rubber arm. He's back again today. Check it out.
Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Dude, today I wanted to get the clip. My clip, unfortunately, doesn't fit the widescreen, and they didn't have it on the network because it pans to the third base umpire to see if he called him going. And if you see it, Nate throws his glove up in the air and holsters him. It's beautiful, man. I love it, dude. Dude's a gunslinger.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely an iconic moment in his career. And if they win it all again, that's definitely – you're going to see that again a lot more.
Imagine saying that he's not a top 10 closer. We're not even going to get into it, but it's there.
I mean, speaking of closing, our guy, Tucker Biven, Louisville, slams the door on North Carolina, 5-0 to take the series lead. I mean, Jim, what more can we say about Tucker? I mean, he's just doing big things.
What can we say about Louisville? We were the only ones that have had them ranked. I'm not trying to throw it in people's face. Maybe it's because we know Coach Bobby, but this team's done nothing but win.
Yep.
Of this game with 2 in scoring position. 0-2 at the knees.
Let me ask you a question. I didn't plan on asking this, but I like those uniforms. How are you feeling on those?
I think they're a classic Louisville uniform, an alternate. I don't mind them. They're not my favorite by any means, but for Louisville, yeah, I'll take it. Not bad.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, LSU sweeps Missouri, wins 10-5. you know that Jake Brown is my favorite player, and it's funny because my LSU group blows me up all the time. And then today, of all days, I'm out in Knoxville, don't even know it, get no message. But then I check the internet, and what do I see?
His total from last year. This one may be another one. Way up! Way out! Over!
Just remember, Daniel, Jake Brown always delivers.
Yeah, he does. And you know what delivers even better? That pitcher who threw one right down the middle. I mean, he didn't locate it all right there. I say this jokingly. I think I could have hit that ball out of the park,
And
but
I'm
not
waiting for
completely out of the ballpark.
And I'm waiting for the stats to update. I don't feel like doing the math, Daniel, but Derek Curry, he was batting like 450 coming in today. He was 3 for 3 from the plate today. Levi Clark has actually struggled the last couple of days. So for my people on the Derek Curry and SEC freshman train, step back.
He's on my Survivor team. I mean, my Survivor team is looking good,
bro. But hey, 2 idols of 3 are on my team.
Hey, you can have those idols, but we're just going to keep taking care of business. We'll keep doing our thing. No big deal. In the pouring rain, our boy Ethan Petrie almost had the opportunity to come up big for the Gamecocks against Oklahoma. Unfortunately, Oklahoma, they get him to strand the runner and leave our boy on deck waiting to come hit. And that's how the game ends. Oklahoma takes it down.
It started raining, and it didn't quit for 4 months. We've been through every kind of rain there is. Little bit of stinging rain, and big old fat rain. Rain that flew in sideways, and sometimes rain even seemed to come straight up from under.
High pop up. Short right field. Branch.
I mean, look at that clip, Daniel. I was watching in real time, and honestly, man, Ethan was in the worst possible situation. We know I didn't play baseball, so I don't really, know what it's like, but I just can't imagine being up there, not being able to see everything is wet. Like, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's not fun circumstances. I get why they're playing, because it's win or lose situation in the middle of the inning. The rain's there, and you're just trying to make it through. Obviously, you don't want anybody to get hurt, but you definitely want to give everybody a fair chance. And I don't think the Gamecocks had a fair chance right there. But you got to pitch it in the rain, and you got to swing it in the rain, and then on top of that, you got to make sure you make the catch, and all those things are pretty tough. So I'd say, all in all, don't let it come down to that. But Oklahoma takes care of business this weekend.
I feel like about that game the same way I did about Ole Miss, Arkansas. I feel good about both teams. Like, someone has to win. I feel like they're both going to be highly competitive. We thought that definitely about South Carolina, so I'm not really bothered with the loss. And I told you I thought Oklahoma was a good team, so we'll see if next week. Because next week nobody gets a break, man. You know how it is with the SEC gauntlet; they're going to go right back into it. But rapid fire. Speaking of the SEC, Texas sweeps Mississippi State in Duty Noble, man. What a statement! Anybody who questions Texas, I get Mississippi State may not be the best team, but they went into their house and smacked them down for 3 games. So, man, shout out to Texas. Virginia takes the series over Cal. Daniel, our boy Henry Ford hits him a bomb, and Cal may not be the best team, but Virginia just needs dubs, right? So they'll take it. Stanford sweeps Duke, no surprise. West Virginia beats Oklahoma State in the only game they played, Daniel, because the other 2 were canceled. And with that, West Virginia is now in the IOTB club. You pitched them to me already, and beating Oklahoma State in the only game that they played, they only have 1 loss. I mean, got to put them in there. So shout out West Virginia. Your boys, DBU, bounce back. Run rule 14-4. Alabama sweeps A&M in College Station. I got to come to you on this game. Is Easley seat hot?
No, it's not, and here's why. Just think of any of your favorite team, or even any of the best teams. You take one of your key, most valuable players out of the rotation, out of the starting lineup, it's going to impact it. It's going to be a big deal. What I'm disappointed in is that Texas A&M can't figure out a way to salvage some of these games, and it just kind of keeps snowballing. But as far as are they looking for a new coach? No,
because I got to watch that game. So when we talk about, baseball is going to baseball, Laviolette hits one 108 off the bat right to the second baseman. Commentators talking about barrel, and then later he hits one where the guy catches it on the wall, like 3 feet short of a home run. And that's just the way it's going for Jace right now.
Well, I think for them in general, if we go back and look at the run differential in these games that they've lost, I don't think it's a lot. They might have 1 or 2 games where they've just had a really tough time at the plate, but I think for the most part, these are close games that they're managing to lose. If they can turn it around and be on the right side of those, they could quickly, transition into, being a 500 team, and then before you know it, they're, above 500 and they're grooving, and then they win a couple series, and then you never know where they might end up.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I still believe that they can turn around. I know we're hanging on by a thread at this moment, but that talent is still there, so we'll see if it comes to fruition. We know baseball is a hard game, and man, it's a long season, and we're just getting into the SEC drive. But Daniel, I got to throw it to you, man. Talk to me about the IOTB Player of the Day.
I mean, it's Luke Hill all day. You reached out to him, got 2 tickets, for Courtney Smith, Webb Smith. You got their boys, Carter and Cohen, a chance to do a little meet and greet. Big Arkansas fans. They did it up right. They had a great time. Got to see Arkansas take a series. John Dennison and his family as well. I mean, Luke takes 98 off the hand. All right. He's lays his body out on the line. He's just getting trucked and ran into, but he's getting after it. But guess what? He's still got time for the people, bro. Still got time for the people.
I mean, he could have tapped out of that game at any point, but to lose and still be a man of the people, to play that game the way he did, he obviously had the bomb. Defensively, he was great. I mean, Daniel, Luke from last year, Luke had some immaturity issues, and he'll own it. We know it. And to see what he's become this year, man, this is growth.
Yeah, definitely. He is definitely a they believe in him. We believe in him. And, everybody can change and mature and get better. And today was a great example of him paying it back and paying it forward and growing the game, man. So shout out to Luke Hill. Great job on Arkansas going in there, taking the series too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing I want to do, Daniel, we don't normally do this, but an amazing clip by Tony V today, recapping on today's game. And the reason I'm using it is tomorrow night's episode is with Dylan Lloyd, the relief pitcher. And he made sure specifically, after talking about the mistakes he made, how Dylan Lloyd was the guy that was able to get them back going. We obviously talk about Nate Snead on the back end, but what do we know about closers, man? There's got to be a setup, man. Let's check it out.
Relationships, and I think that's what gets our guys to get through a day like today, because I made a couple dumb mistakes, in my opinion. We made a couple mistakes on defense. I mean, the first and third thing, if I'm a fan, it doesn't look like we ever practice it, which we do. But you know what? When you keep fighting and you battle through, good things happen. And Dylan Lloyd was our best battler today, but the whole group battled their way to a win.
Yeah, it was total team effort. I mean, they just completely rocked Florida. Florida wasn't ready for what they had come into, and I mean, they had an opportunity, and this is a tip of the hat to Dylan for really going, getting past that initial outing, because it wasn't his best, and going out there today and really earning his team a victory. Shout out to him. We'll see him tomorrow. We'll see everybody else tomorrow. For me, DB, this is Jim. We are the In Off the Bench podcast, and this is College Baseball Tonight. We'll see y'all next time. We're out. Peace.